Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today, Emmerdale fans have been left reeling after one of the most explosive and heartbreaking episodes in recent memory. The village was shaken to its core last night as Kev's violent outburst against Erin Dingle took a shocking and tragic turn, ultimately leading to Kev's unexpected death in hospital. What began as a heated confrontation spiraled into a nightmare that no one saw coming. The latest episode opened with tensions running high following the aftermath of Kev's assault on Erin. The pair's rivalry had been bubbling for weeks, and when emotions finally boiled over, it was Erin who found himself on the receiving end of Kev's uncontrollable rage. Viewers were stunned as Kev lashed out, striking Erin during a furious confrontation outside the wool pack. What no one anticipated was how quickly karma, and consequence, would follow. The assault that changed everything. According to scenes aired earlier this week, Kev had been under increasing pressure. Rumors were circulating about his dodgy dealings and his connection to a series of shady events in the village. When Erin confronted him about his lies and threats, Kev snapped. In a shocking moment, he shoved Erin against a wall, landing several brutal blows before being pulled away by horrified bystanders. Chaz, who witnessed part of the altercation, screamed for help as Erin fell to the ground. Marlon and Patty rushed to Erin's side, while Kev stormed off, his hands trembling and his face pale with rage. What happened next would change everything, forever. A sudden collapse. Moments later, Kev was seen stumbling down the road toward the scrapyard, clutching his chest. At first, viewers thought he was trying to escape the chaos or perhaps planning to leave the village for good. But within seconds, he collapsed, gasping for air. It was Kane Dingle who found him sprawled on the ground, unresponsive. Kane immediately called for an ambulance, though he was clearly conflicted. After all, Kev had just attacked Erin, one of his own. Still, Kane isn't a man to let someone die without trying to help, and he did everything he could to keep Kev alive until paramedics arrived. The scene was gut-wrenching as the medics fought to stabilize Kev. "Stay with us, Kev," Kane shouted, as Chaz and Erin looked on in shock. Erin, still bruised and shaken, watched in silence, his emotions torn between anger, guilt, and disbelief. A grim hospital battle. At Houghton General Hospital, doctors fought tirelessly to save Kev's life. It was revealed that he'd suffered a cardiac arrest, likely triggered by stress, shock, and a previous undiagnosed heart condition. The irony wasn't lost on viewers. The man who had just unleashed violence on another was now fighting for his own life. Erin, meanwhile, was brought in for medical checks and questioned by the police. Despite being the victim, Erin was deeply conflicted. He told D.S. Carter that he didn't want revenge, he just wanted the whole mess to end. Back at the hospital, Kev's condition rapidly deteriorated. His body went into cardiac failure, and after a desperate attempt to resuscitate him, doctors pronounced him dead. The heart monitor flatlined, and the camera lingered on his still face, the chaos of the past few hours finally silenced. A village in shock. News of Kev's death spread through the village like wildfire. Some were shocked, others quietly relieved. But for Erin, the guilt hit hardest. Despite being the victim, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was somehow responsible for Kev's downfall. Chaz tried to console him, saying, "You didn't do this, love. He made his choices. This isn't on you." But Erin, known for his emotional turmoil and self-blame, struggled to accept that truth. He sat alone in the hospital corridor, his eyes filled with tears as he whispered, "I never wanted it to end like this." Meanwhile, D.S. Carter officially opened an investigation into Kev's death. While foul play was ruled out, questions remain about what drove Kev to such extremes. Some villagers suggested that Kev had been spiraling for weeks, paranoid, desperate, and angry. Others speculated he had been involved in something darker, possibly blackmail or threats from an unseen enemy. Emotional fallout. The aftermath promises to send shockwaves through Emmerdale for weeks to come. Aaron's mental health is once again in the spotlight, as he grapples with the trauma of the assault and the unexpected death that followed. Fans online have already flooded social media with messages of support for Aaron, praising actor Danny Miller's emotional performance. "Danny Miller deserves every award for tonight's episode," one fan posted on X, formerly Twitter. "The way Aaron blamed himself even though he was the victim broke my heart." Others expressed mixed feelings about Kev's sudden death. "I didn't like what Kev did, but that ending was brutal," one viewer wrote. "It's tragic how fast things spiraled out of control. What happens next?" Producers have hinted that this shocking storyline is far from over. Kev's death is set to have major consequences for several characters, including Aaron, Kane, and even Chaz. The Dingle family will once again find themselves at the center of a storm, as questions about justice, guilt, and forgiveness come to the forefront. Rumors also suggest that Kev's family will soon arrive in the village, determined to uncover the truth about his final hours. Will they blame Aaron for what happened, or will the truth about Kev's violent actions finally come to light? For now, Emmerdale fans are bracing for another wave of emotional drama. Kev's tragic end has left a lasting mark on the Dales, a grim reminder that violence always carries consequences.